Is 2020 a complete loss? That depends on how you define it. Let's go. What's up, my people? I'm SweetDeat, and I'm so glad you found my channel. If you're new here, there's all sorts of stuff that you can benefit from, everything from business and strategy and logistics and information of how to make your business better within the musical creative world, or even very simple guitar lessons that I give from time to time. Chances are, if you're creative, even the broad information here is good for you. So at any point in this talk, if you enjoy this or realize this is kind of cool, click the subscribe button, like the post, and maybe share it with a friend or two. At the beginning of every program, I always take a moment to highlight an artist or creative that I think is really cool that you should know about if you don't already know about them. Today's artist is a visual artist, and her name is Holla Pearman. You can find her on Instagram under hannahandthecosmos. I love Hannah's art so much that I bought almost every piece from her Ocean series that she did several years ago. And in basically every room, you can find a piece of her artwork in my home. Even after all these years of having her artwork in my home, I still somehow find myself lost in it. I'll randomly see a piece of the painting that I never really noticed before, and I'll end up staring at it for a few moments and realizing I'm so lucky to have this. Please check out hannahandthecosmos on Instagram and become one of her followers and become immediately amazed at what she creates. And now for the topic at hand, 2020 and the lost year in the arts. It's summer 2020. Did you really expect that this would be going on as long as it has? And yes, I'm talking about the pandemic for a moment. I gotta say, I didn't. In the beginning, I thought that this might be done by the summer and that all this hysteria would be over and that maybe we would be back to normal, starting to play gigs, but definitely ready to go by the fall, right? Well, not the case anymore, folks. It's quite evident that this is here to stay for a while, which means likely fall of 2020. As we know, it takes time to rebook tours and reschedule gigs, even if they're one-offs. And right now, with the way things are in the financial world as it pertains to clubs and music venues and festivals, both small and large, there's no money, and it doesn't look like this is going to get remedied anytime soon. For example, like, will the PUA benefits be extended for the end of the year for all of us artists and musician types? How are clubs going to pay rent if they can't open up and have shows? Will the PPP and EIDL loans continue to be replenished so that these type of venues and festivals can continue to get the funding they need to stay afloat until they're able to open, whenever that is? But assuming that the world is going to come back to normal, or whatever the new normal is in the future, where does this leave you? How will your 2020 be defined when you look back at it after this year? Will it be defined by you accepting the unemployment benefits and just sitting around and waiting for you when you get the all clear to start back up as business as usual? Or are you one of these people that are really taking this opportunity to take the next step in your career as best you can, provided the times? And that's precisely what I want to talk about today. The people that are really out there working hard on their craft right now and really putting in the time and the hours are going to come out of this a whole nother level higher than what they were when they went into this pandemic. I think if I had to make a bet on just about anything, would be that when we come out of this pandemic, the bar will actually be higher for what is required of all of us. I'm talking about, if you're a musician, your musicianship, your ability to play your instrument on a high level, all the other intangibles like social media presence and those type of things. The truth is, we can't expect things to be the same when we come out of this. And if you're sitting around and not really making big strides on yourself and investing in yourself 2 times, 3 times, 4 times more than you ever have before, you're going to get left behind when this is all over. The reason why I bring these things up is because I think it's important for all of us to realize this in the creative world. There's going to be a real need for what we do when we get out of all of this. And if we spend our time wisely preparing for the future, we're going to reap the rewards. I know many of us have been talking to all of our friends that maybe aren't doing so well with this pandemic and being in isolation and, not really having a good mental headspace, or their heart's broken because they can't see their favorite people. And if you're one of those people that are going out and doing those things, it's really important that you continue to do those things. If you haven't done that, please pick up the phone and call somebody. It could be someone that you don't have a relationship with, really, that's just in your phone and maybe you've worked with a couple of times. They'll be really appreciative that you called and reached out. What becomes the byproduct of really focusing in on who you are as an artist right now and doubling your time into it, tripling your time into it, the fringe benefit becomes that you keep your mind busy and you keep your heart full of producing art that you love. Which is funny that it's the byproduct, because ultimately keeping your head strong right now and your mental game focused on the future, as well as your heart satisfied in creating art in the moment that we have that's just totally void of regular finances and stuff, it's going to keep you going through this whole entire pandemic. So I don't know who needs to hear that out there, but there's somebody out there that needs to. I ask the question again: what will your 2020 be defined as? Will it be a year that is totally lost and totally void of any sort of advancement in your life or career? Or will you choose to rise up, become a better version of yourself, and do the work that's required to make tomorrow great? I would be really interested in knowing what you're doing currently to make sure that your head is screwed on straight and that your heart is full of your art and that you are putting in the work that's required to advance yourself every day. Post in the comments below and tell me what you're doing, because, hey, I could use some advice, and also other people that watch this video could probably use that advice too. It's important that we check on each other, love on each other, and create till our minds and our hearts explode right now so that we stay on track for the future. Don't wait, do it now. This will end one day, and you'll look back at 2020 and realize that this was the start of something great. See, don't you feel great already? Awesome. Go ahead and click the like and the subscribe button. But most importantly, call someone and tell them that you love them today. Until next time, I'm SweetDeat. I'll talk to you soon.